Hi there, ladies, self-lovers. It's so good to be with you today. I am Katie, most of you know. I'm the founder of the School of Self-Love, and I wrote this book, The Self-Love Affair, A Woman's Guide to a Daring and Mighty Life. And gosh, what a privilege it has been actually to, commit to creating a weekly training call, which is running for something like 19 weeks in total. And we're, more than halfway now. And hi, if you're joining, please let me know who you are. Just write your name in the comments. Tell me where you're calling in from. But yeah, I was just saying, what an honor it has actually been for me to do these training calls each week, because what it's doing is forcing me to read my own book and to reconnect with my own material. And of course, I live and breathe this every day, but there's something about really just sitting and reading it chapter by chapter and remembering it and reconnecting to how I felt when I wrote it. Hey Jean, good to see you. And just reconnecting to the truth that's in here and the passion and the wisdom, quite frankly. And it's really interesting. Sometimes I read something and I think, did I write that? Because on some level, I've personally now at this stage, a few years on from writing this, I'm going even deeper into some of the teachings, and it's been really beautiful to actually read my own words and remind me of perhaps something I've forgotten or something I need to go, as I was saying, go deeper with. So it's been a real honor to do this. So thank you, those of you that are joining me every week for the training calls. It's such a pleasure to serve you in this way, but please know, this is a total win-win. I'm loving it, and I'm getting a lot from it as well. And I'm, essentially I'm going through the process with you, and I always am. So let's dive into today's teaching. There's somebody else joining, and if you want to let me know who you are and where you're I know you've dropped off, whoever that was. Okay. So let's just dive into today's lesson, which is we're up to, if you are actually, and this has become a little bit like a book club, hasn't it? If you are following the lessons and working your way through the book, then we're up to page 149. And the chapter is called Connection to Others. And gosh, it's such a beautiful chapter, and it's such an important part of the self-love affair process. So, as much as I've been teaching the self-love affair process as a transformational process, which is all around awareness creation and, emotional expression and forgiveness, that sort of three-part transformational process, and the deep self-honesty that is required to heal and transform anything in your life that's not serving you. Equally, there is another way, and they don't stand separate. It's not an either or. It's like we've got the transformational self-love affair process, and then another way to heal and transform anything that's not serving you is available to you through your relationship to other people. So they're not either or. We need both. We need to do the deep self-inquiry of taking ourselves through our own transformational process, which is what I've been sharing with you week on week here over these calls. And we got to commit to our relationships. And we really need to get how powerful our relationships to other people are in terms of showing up what needs healing. If whatever it is that you desire in your life, whatever next level you want to go to within yourself and in your life, somebody else is going to be able to assist you in clearing out whatever is holding you back to that. And they're real angels, whoever these other people are, I think. And these angels that can really help us to transform and grow and, to heal and grow and evolve. They could be our intimate relationships, our intimate life partner. It could be a sibling, a parent, a friend. It could be just some random stranger on the street or some random interaction very briefly with somebody that actually really opens up something within you or heals something within you or creates an awareness within you that you can then work with. But I think, we're kidding ourselves to think that we are in this world on our own. Like we've talked a lot, haven't we, about this idea that we're not alone. And I've usually, when I speak about this idea that we're connected and not alone, I have been speaking about it from a place of spiritual connection and, you know, connection to source energy. We're going to be talking more about that in coming teachings. You know, connection to your guides and angels even. By the way, if you can see a tail every now and then come up, my cat is here with me. I've decided to let her join me on the call today because I'm going away to Morocco tomorrow on a yoga retreat, and I'm feeling guilty for leaving her behind. So I'm allowing her to do whatever she wants to do today. And that means she's sprawled on my desk right now. I'm sure she'll come up and say hello to you. Hey, Wendy, nice to see you on the call. That's awesome. Gosh, what time is it? It must be like, hold on, 11 o'clock at night for you. It's late, but it's good to see you. Hi, darling. So what was I saying? Yes. So we are connected. And usually when I'm speaking about connection, I'm usually talking, as I was just saying, on more of like a spiritual level and an energetic, like source energy level. But, you know, we're connected to each other where, you know, if I am source energy, then you are too. Sorry. Jean says, have a lovely retreat. Sounds wonderful. Thank you. Yeah, it should be great. It should be really nice. I booked it months ago, so it's kind of come at the perfect time. So, you know, we are connected to each other. And thank you, Wendy's giving me a time update, 11:06 p.m. Nice. Here's Luna to say hello. So yeah, we are connected to each other. And we need to remember the importance of our connection to, oh, Lindy's there, we will. Lindy's coming on retreat too, yippee. Sorry, guys, I'm totally distracted here. I'm trying to teach something and I'm loving your comments. And then I've got Luna. Maybe I should leave Luna out of the office. Yeah, so we need each other to evolve and grow. That's it, right? We need each other to evolve and grow. You are not on your own. You're not on your own, and you're not meant to evolve and grow. You're not meant to go through your transformational process on your own. And in fact, when you know that your relationship to other people can actually enhance and speed up your transformational process, I think that's really an important piece of information. As much as your transformational journey, and certainly the work we've been doing through the book, yes, it's your journey. Yes, only you can do the work. Yes, you know, it's only you that can sit with your journal and dig deep. Yes, it's only you that will do the meditation, or you that will, you know, do the emotional expression, the grieving, the anger, whatever it needs to clear it out. So only you can do that. And so, yes, there's an element of you're on your own with that. But really, some incredibly deep transformational healing will come from your relationships. Tanya's just joined. Hi, Tanya. Good to see you. Where in the world are you, Tanya? I can't remember. I know you told me before, but remind me if you wouldn't mind. So I think most of us are, well, where am I going to begin with this? I think most of us are, well, we can really get in the habit of relating to other people through a place of fear, can't we? Like we relate from, we kind of shut down. We don't want to be vulnerable. We want to protect ourselves. We can be quite judgmental. We can feel, actually, let me just go back. There's a paragraph in the book that I think I'd like to read to you because I think it expresses it really nicely, if you don't mind. Okay, so connection through fear looks like this: jealousy, judgment, worry, dependency, anxiety, blame, fighting, betrayal, denial, pain, distrust, the need to be right. Who else could be guilty of that? Emotional repression, disappointment, craziness, miscommunication, anger, hostility, competition, obsession, control, guilt, and war, right? So you get the idea. So connection through fear looks like that. And in many ways, many of us can be really conditioned to connecting in that way. You know, at the end of the day, we're all just little kids doing our best, and we connect with others in a way that was modeled to us. We connect in a way that protects us, keeps us safe, perhaps. And I really feel that our spiritual growth depends on us learning how to connect to others from a place of love, not from a place of fear, from not feeling like we have to protect ourselves. Of course, you know, there's a conversation to be had around healthy boundaries and so on, but to not feel the need that we have to cut ourselves off from others, because really in connecting through love and connecting through opening our hearts and being really, really, truly vulnerable, that is how we evolve spiritually. And we don't when we're coming from ego, which is fear and scarcity, right? So, you know, we've got to learn, and part of being a consciously aware, awake woman, which you are, which is why you're here on this training call, which is why you're reading this book, is we need to learn to relate in love and to come from our spiritual selves. And as I was sort of beginning to say before I got distracted, you know, your transformational journey requires you to be really, really honest with yourself. I mean, deeply honest with yourself. As I've said many times, the reason why a lot of people don't do deeply transformational work is because they don't really want to go there with that level of honesty. They don't really want to see themselves warts and all, because then what does that mean? What's going to have to change? And that can feel scary, right? But your commitment to you know, you've got to love yourself enough to get really, really honest with yourself if you think you're going to transform anything that's sabotaging your life. And equally, if our relationships are an opportunity for growth, and I'm going to talk about that more in a second, if our relationships offer us an incredible opportunity for us to more deeply know and love ourselves, then that same level of honesty needs to be applied to our relationships. You know, I think we cause ourselves so much pain through not being honest. I coach so many women, as you know, and a conversation I'm having again and again and again is around, like, the woman, she's in a relationship and she, you know, something's not quite working out in the relationship, or she's feeling upset about something, or maybe bitter and resentful about something, or, you know, she's dissatisfied in some way, which is why we're talking about it. And, you know, the question is, well, what do I do? I don't know what to do. I don't know how to fix this. I don't know how to, you know, make it better. And really, after some exploration, really what it boils down to is, are you communicating honestly? Are you really daring to be fully 100% yourself? Are you daring to show up 100% vulnerably, the woman that you really truly are, not the woman that you're pretending to be, that the woman that you think that he wants you to be or she wants you to be, depending on your relationship? Are you pretending to be something that you think they want you to be, or trying to be something you think they want you to be? Are you trying to protect their feelings by behaving or saying things in a certain way? I had an amazing conversation with a woman yesterday, actually, who is in quite a codependent relationship with one of her best girlfriends. And, you know, while she continues to be serving and showing up for this friend again and again and again, who has some problems and isn't dealing very well with life and hasn't been for a long time, she feels like she has to keep serving her. She feels like she has to keep fixing her and being there for her, but it's totally to her own detriment. There are things in her life she's not achieving because she's always there for this friend. And while there's an element of she's got a beautiful big heart and wants to be of service, and it's lovely to care for our friends, she's kind of missing a trick because she's not able to be there for herself. And I have lost my track. What was I talking? I do this, and I've got, do you know why? Do you know why I'm doing this? Give me 1 second. I need to turn off my mail because my mail is pinging through email after email. And, and I can see them coming up on my screen, and they're totally distracting. Okay. I think I've shut it down. Good. So she's, I can't quite remember what I was saying now. Facebook Lives. Some days they're easy and some days not so much. And this is one of those days. So what was she? Yeah, so she is in this really codependent relationship with her friends. And what she's not seeing is that, yes, she's suffering. She's not achieving what she wants to be achieving in her life because she's always there for her friends. and she's too scared to say no to her friend. She's too scared about what her friend will do or what her friend will think or feel. She's not so scared about how she's feeling, which really should be her priority. She's not so scared or worried about how she's putting her whole life on hold. She's more scared about her friend being hurt or in a place of pain if she's not there for her all the time. But, you know, sometimes I think the biggest gift of love we can give to somebody else is to say no, because it means that we're not enabling them anymore. They've got to go on their own journey, and she needs to go on her own journey. And, you know, unless we speak our truth to somebody, unless we show up really authentically and honestly as who we are, we're probably doing the other person a disservice. So I'm remembering my train of thought now. So, you know, there's this idea that, you know, I speak with women in relationships, and they don't want to tell their husband or partner how they really feel about something because they don't want to hurt his feelings, or they think that he thinks that she should be showing up in a certain way in life. But it's causing so much tension and trouble because she's just not being who she is. And keeping up the facade is absolutely exhausting. And it's enabling a dynamic between the couple that isn't their truth. So therefore, if it's not their truth, it's based in fear. It's actually coming from ego. It's not, if it was coming from a place of love, it would be pure honesty. And sure, pure honesty can hurt to start with, but sometimes you and or the other person need to feel the pain because we need the shake up, because we need the lesson. By like playing it safe and tiptoeing around situations and not being honest and pretending, we're not allowing for the spiritual growth. We're not allowing for the healing, either your own or theirs or both. You know, if we pretend, we're shutting down an opportunity. So a really important part, something I guess I really wanted to get across on today's lesson was this idea that, like, I'm really calling you and inviting you to start being really, really, really honest in your relationships. Really start to develop a bravery. I want you to be really brave. I want you to love yourself enough to stop pretending in any relationship that you're in. Like, show up as who you really are. Show up and be who you are. Be vulnerable. Say what you think. Say no when your answer is a no. Say yes when it's a yes. Be real. If something doesn't feel good for you, don't do it. Don't be who you're not being. Like, even like here I am on this Facebook Live. It is so imperfect, particularly today. I'm not going to lie. I'm pretty distracted today. I'm juggling a lot at the moment. I know I've got to be up at 3:30 tomorrow morning for a really early flight. I've still got to sort the cat out. I've got my son after school. I've got a lot going on today. A lot. So I'm a bit discombobulated. I've just come straight off a coaching call, straight onto this call. I'm not particularly prepared. You can tell, right? But at least I'm showing up. And yeah, I'm not perfect. But it's true. It's real. You're getting like the real me right now. And hold on, what's Jean saying? Sometimes I feel I'm too honest and can hurt people unintentionally. Okay. And yeah, Jean. So, right. So that leads me into, that's a really good point. When we're really honest with people, there is a chance that they're going to have a feeling in reaction to or response to what we say. We can't be held responsible for that. Okay. We have to mind our own business. It's a great quote. Mind our own business, do the work on ourselves, be clean and clear within ourselves, communicate our truth, and then how they react or respond really is their business. If you're not being honest, you're perhaps possibly enabling them to stay stuck in something. Through your honesty, you are perhaps offering them the opportunity to explore something and heal it for themselves. So therefore, your honesty has been a gift of love to them. And this piece about too honest and can hurt people unintentionally. I think I'm going to caveat slightly what I just said, because I do think that we do have to, when we communicate our truth to other people, to do it from a place of real love, of real vulnerability, of real like empowered connection with ourselves and our truth. To be able to speak in that way to somebody requires us to do our own inner work. So, you know, speaking your truth to somebody and just blurting out everything that you think and feel in a very possibly reactive way, because you haven't taken half an hour that morning to do your journaling and to do your own personal sort of emotional expression that needs to be done, to like get out the victim piece that's within you into your journal. If you haven't like done your own work first, if you haven't, you know, then you can hurt people. So that's coming from an ego place. Like, I want to be right. I'm going to tell you what I think. This is my truth, right? As you can feel the difference, right? It's quite ego. But if you can do the work on yourself first, so if you, before you start having any conversation, I'm going to talk about clearing conversations in a minute, but if you're going to be really honest with people, if you're going to really speak your truth, I really, and I want you to be doing that, and I invite you to do that. I also invite you to do it from a very, very loving place, in a very clean and clear, empowered place. You do the work first to prepare yourself before you speak your truth. Because there's truth and there's truth. There's, I'm going to tell you my truth, ego, or I've done the work, I've done my journaling, I've prepared, I'm really clear on what my truth is. And I'm going to share my truth because that actually feels very loving to me, to show up honestly and authentically, rather than me having to tell you what my truth is because my ego needs you to know it and I need to be right, for example. But I'm going to share my truth with you because what's going on here doesn't feel good for me, or doesn't feel true for me, or, you know, whatever the conversation is. But, you know, you could probably start to get that there's an energy difference between the two, and one is more likely to hurt than the other. But when you're coming from a place of love, and if you really are clean and clear, then I really believe that you are creating an opportunity for the other person to have their response or their reaction in a way that's true for them, and you're giving them an opportunity to possibly heal something that needs healing as well, or maybe the shake-up that they need to go to their next level of and their own transformational journey. But while we're lying or pretending or keeping up appearances, or, you know, just too scared to hurt somebody, or, you know, hurt their feelings, don't want to say no to somebody, don't want to say yes to somebody, but we do it anyway because we're too scared to hurt them or worried what other people will think, that's just perpetuating a cycle of fear-based relationships. It's all based on fear. It's not your truth. So, and the reason why I really believe we need to get the importance of deep, deep honesty, not just with ourselves when we're on a transformational journey, but with other people, is because the people in our lives are, as I said, our opportunity for growth, and we are their opportunity for growth. And there's no coincidence who comes in and out of your life. I really don't think there are any coincidences. People are a mirror. We are a mirror to each other. Even on this call now, whoever's on this call right now, I am mirroring something to you. I guess I'm not too sure how to see how you're mirroring to me right now because I can't actually see you. But I guess at some level you are, and maybe I'll go away and think about what that could be. But, you know, I might be mirroring stuff to you right now that you need to heal or pay attention to, or that, you know, maybe something gets flagged up that you're ready to transform. I will be, but my stuff's my stuff, and I have to own that. And I will be mirroring perhaps some of your stuff. Like if you're feeling triggered right now by anything I do or say, or the way I look or show up, then that'll be a mirror to you, to something that's going on within you that perhaps needs some loving attention paid to it, perhaps needs a bit of compassion, you know, perhaps some healing. And that's what we do for each other in relationship. It is an absolute, we show up for each other what needs healing. I was speaking with a gorgeous client yesterday, and the subject again in her relationship came up about how he and she aren't communicating too great on certain pieces, and how it's really interesting to witness why they've come together as a couple, and how for very different reasons they both have pieces to heal around communication. And so because they're such a solid, tight couple, of course they fight and they have their issues sometimes, but they're a solid couple. And because they know that relationships are a perfect, beautiful, divine opportunity for personal growth, they can come together and discuss, okay, so you've got this communication piece, I've got this communication piece. How can we support each other? There's a reason we've come together. If we choose not to heal our pieces around communication, then you and I are going to keep banging up against each other. We're going to keep fighting about the same old shit, and we will be miserable. And that could mean the end of the relationship eventually, when we just get too exhausted by it. Or we could look at the reasons why we've been brought together and do the work together to support each other to heal this piece. You know, we've been brought together for that reason. I think a lot of relationships, I mean, certainly in my experience, a lot of my most painful relationships have actually been just the most dynamic opportunity for massive personal growth. I've had a couple of relationships that have caused me so much pain. This was some years ago, but so much pain. And I can see now how they were the perfect mirror. Those two men knew how to push my buttons. They knew what my pain was. And, they were a catalyst for massive personal and spiritual growth in my life. We do learn through painful relationships. They are a really incredible opportunity for growth. At some point, I think we also can begin to choose relationships where we can grow through joy and through love, and not so much through the pain and the fear. I did a lot of learning through pain and fear. And I feel like, now that I'm in my 40s, I'm learning more from relationships from a place of love and joy and real honesty and openness. And it's really lovely. So it's not like I'm not learning in my intimate relationship now. My partner now, we've got a really great relationship, and we're both growing, but we're growing not from drama, not from fear, not from hurting each other or really like digging into each other's wounds. We're growing from a place of seeing each other and supporting each other, and knowing that our relationship is an opportunity for really like taking us as individuals to really the next level. So I'm really enjoying growing personally through a very positive, loving relationship with my boyfriend. Historically, it was the other way, but it needed to be like that for me. I needed to have those wake-up calls. I needed to feel the pain. I needed to be really pushed in that way for me to have the level of transformation that those relationships provided me. Jean says, you certainly are mirroring me. Am I, Jean? I would love to know how. Am I pushing your buttons by any chance? I'd love to know how you think I'm mirroring you right now. So relationships are, whether it's, your intimate relationship is going to be like a powerful opportunity for your personal growth. Huge, because you're kind of living and breathing each other day in, day out. You invest heavily in each other. It's such a important relationship that of course it's going to be, there's going to be huge opportunities for growth right there. And we have it with every human we come into contact, really. And if there's anybody in your life that is causing you pain or upset, then I would invite you to take a look at what it is about the relationship, what the dynamic within the relationship is showing you about yourself. And of course, there'll be some stuff like that person could be projecting some of their stuff, their pain, their unhealed wounds onto you, right? We do that. We can project onto other people. So there's an element of, they're going to have to own their stuff. Also within the relationship, you can take a look. Well, I've been brought to, this person is in my life for a reason. What is this showing me about me? What is it about me that needs healing? What are they showing me? And it takes real bravery, because I think what another human can show up for us really tends to be our deepest, darkest secrets, our most vulnerable parts that we think that nobody can see, but actually there they are. There they are to be healed. Jean says, making me think of and address all of my faults. Oh, darling, you ain't got no faults. You're beautiful and perfect just as you are. And we've all got pieces that we're healing. All of us, all of us, all of us. So let me just take a quick look at the book to see the chapter, to see if there's anything I kind of wanted to touch on today. Yeah. Okay. Sorry, won't be 1 second. Be right back with you. Yeah. Yeah, so I think I might skip to the end of this chapter because I quite like the exercises at the end of this. There's 3. So really, the biggest message, 2 messages that I want to come out of today's training, my probably least eloquent training of the series, is the importance of honesty in your relationships. Like, if you are on a transformational journey, honesty is key. Honesty with yourself and honesty with others. The transformational process is your own internal process, so you're honest with yourself. The transformational process requires other people to speed up the process and to show you, mirror to you, what is it within you that needs healing. And you got to be honest in those situations. Honesty, like, it's such a common phrase, but honesty is the best policy. If you don't know what to do, be honest. Be honest. And the other piece I want you to take away from today is really just the absolute truth that relationships really are an opportunity for your growth, and that you have the choice to approach your relationship from ego and therefore fear, or from a beautiful, open-hearted space of compassion and understanding and love. And it's so much easier to come from that place when you are doing the work on yourself, when you are clean and clear, and you are loving yourself enough to clear out the demons, to clear out the anything blocking you to being the fullest, most beautiful expression of yourself. When you're doing that work, then when you can communicate to others, it comes from such a beautiful, clear and loving place. And that honesty is felt. People feel you when you're speaking honestly. They feel you when you're coming from ego. It's felt. We're energetic beings, don't forget. So let's just give up paying lip service to anybody. Let's give up keeping up appearances. Let's quit the people pleasing and just start being authentically who we are. And we can do that when we love ourselves first. And our closest, dearest relationships are the perfect place to practice showing up authentically as you. They really are. So I guess that's what I really wanted to get across today. And then I wanted to share the 3 exercises in this particular chapter. The first one is random acts of kindness. So I think this is just such a lovely thing to do, and it helps us remember that we're not on our own in the world, and it helps us to connect with universal laws of, giving and receiving. What you put out into the world, the law of karma, what you put out is really what you're going to get back. And yeah, random acts of kindness, it really just makes us feel connected to other people. We're not on our own here in this world. We're all doing our best as humans. And I think any chance just to do something lovely for somebody else, to just take your focus off you for 1 minute and just care for somebody else. Now, this isn't about people pleasing. This isn't about being codependent. This isn't like taking care of other people at your own expense or detriment. This is just doing lovely things for people. I had this happen to me once, actually, where I parked in a car park and I went to put my money in the parking machine, and the man before me, I did see him buy a ticket and take the ticket, but he must have then bought another ticket and left the ticket. And he didn't know who was going to go. He didn't know it was going to be me. to get that ticket. But when I got there, my parking was paid for. I just needed to grab the ticket and put it on my windscreen. It was so lovely. It was so lovely. And then I did it for somebody else. So, it's just paying it forward. I remember receiving an anonymous gift in the post once, because there was, I think at the time, there was this kind of pay it forward campaign, or anonymous acts of, random acts of kindness campaign. And somebody sent me a gift. I don't know who it was from, but it made me feel so good. And it had me want to pay it forward with a different act of kindness. It could be just being polite to somebody or smiling at the shopkeeper when usually, so many of us were like at the till and we're like on our phones and juggling things, and we don't even look at the human being opposite us and smile and say thanks and how was your day. Like, just take a second to just a random act of kindness. Just be nice to the shopkeeper. Jane says, love the idea of pay it forward. Yeah, like, it's such as much as I talk about self-love, and I do talk a lot about the negative implications of people pleasing, where you're serving to your own detriment. In terms of feeling good and feeling happy and feeling peace, there really is something rather beautiful about just being of service to other people and helping other people, smiling at people. Choose to smile at people. Just make the intention today to smile at every single person you see. It has a ripple effect and it makes you feel good. It makes them feel good, makes you feel good. Everybody wins. So I just think a chapter, this part of the book, a chapter about connecting with others, I think we can't have a chapter like that and not want to do random acts of kindness. I just think it's a gorgeous piece of homework, and I really invite you to do something lovely for somebody. Pay them a compliment. Send an anonymous note congratulating somebody on something, or saying thank you to somebody for something, whatever it is. But yeah, I really invite you to do that. And I'll do something this afternoon when I step out of the house today. I'm not sure what it will be, but I shall this afternoon practice some random acts of kindness. That would be, I will commit to doing that today. The second exercise at the end of this chapter is called clearing conversations, and I really want to support you with this. It's having an empowered and clearing conversation, I think, is a real art, and I am still getting better at it. I'm still practicing it, and oh my gosh, so much better now than I ever was. I think the key to having a very powerful conversation with somebody where you get to speak your truth is, first of all, to be in an empowered place and to come from a place of love. As I was saying just before, you have got to clean up your side of the street. So you just don't go into any important conversation without doing the work yourself, without preparing for it. So the preparation will look like perhaps journaling and getting really clear of the conversation that you want to have, maybe even doing the emotional processing first. In fact, that would be the first place to start. There's something that has caused you or moved you to want to have a conversation with somebody. Okay, so start writing about that. What is that thing that has pushed you or moved you to want to have a conversation? How are you feeling about it? What beliefs do you have that perhaps need some rewiring around that or healing around that? What emotions have you perhaps been bottling up that need to come out now around that, so that you are in a very clear place to then decide, okay, what is this conversation about now? Because if the conversation is coming from love and not ego, the conversation is coming from a place of how can we both mutually benefit from what's going on here? How can we both get a learning, have a learning experience from what's going on here, rather than it being like, my ego needs you to know that I'm right about XYZ, or that you're wrong about XYZ. You need to know. That's for your journal. Before you have a clearing conversation, and you know what, we're never going to get this perfect, probably, but do your best to move towards the conversation with the intention of having cleaned up your side of the street first. And then identify, remember, intention is everything. I think it was the first lesson on the self-love affair process that I taught. It was all around setting your intention for the process, what you want to get out of it. Everything has to start with intention. So if you want to have a clearing conversation with somebody, When you've done your clearing up of your side of the street, then write in your journal, like, what do I intend for this conversation? What do I want to feel? What do I want to feel while I'm having this conversation? How would I love us both to feel during the conversation? How do I want us to feel by the end of the conversation? Yeah, so just set the intention. Where am I going to have this conversation? Set it up. Like, an empowered woman is prepared. So you're not just going to like randomly, oh, I'm just going to start this conversation now when you're walking down a shopping aisle. Like, what does this conversation need? What environment does it need? Does it need for the two of you to agree to go on a walk together and have a conversation while you walk? Do you need to be in a public place? So you need to be sat in a cafe together. Would that make you feel safer? Would that be more appropriate? Depends on the conversation. Do you need to be at home, just the two of you? You know, what does it need? Decide that in advance and then set it up. So get really clear on how you want to feel as you go into the conversation, while you're having the conversation, and how you want to feel by the end of it. Set it up. Where is this conversation going to take place? What feels good for you and for both of you? What is the conversation? What would honor the conversation? Right? And then release attachment, because when you go into a conversation, you can't have any attachment to how the other person is going to react or respond. You can set a general intention for how you would like it to go, how you would like everybody to feel, but you are not in control of how the other person is going to react or respond. And remember, through your honesty, you are no longer enabling any sabotaging behaviors in the other person. So you're kind of exposing something that gives them an opportunity to go forward and heal, or not, their own pieces, but you're not responsible for how they react or respond, particularly if you're coming from a very loving, truly clean and clear and honest space. And see how it goes. Remember that when you go into a conversation like that, the importance of remembering that you're just both humans. You are both fallible. All humans are fallible. We all make mistakes. We do not get everything right. Go into it with that energy, just knowing that neither of you are perfect. Spiritually perfect, sure, but on a human level, no, we're not. That we're all essentially little kids kind of doing our best in the world. I think before having a clearing conversation, it's really a gorgeous practice to kind of see the two of you in the light of love. Like, I actually like to sit almost in a meditation just with my eyes closed, and I actually like to imagine my photograph and the photograph of the person I need to have the conversation with in beautiful frames, sat on a mantle with candles and flowers maybe, and make it really beautiful. It's a beautiful image, like an altar. And I see the two images of both of us, and I choose to see both images sort of bathed in white light. And I choose to see both people as little children, as pure innocent spirits, pure innocent souls who are here doing their very best with the tools they have, with what they've learned. So with such compassion, I look at both these images of myself and the other person. It diffuses any kind of negative energy. It diffuses a lot of ego, and it allows my heart to really open and to feel really connected to both myself and my truth, and to them without judgment. Like, judgment just goes. And there's a beautiful quote that I learned from, I went to some time ago now, but I went to a training day with Marianne Williamson, and she taught this prayer. And the prayer goes something like, the light in me honors the light in you. The love in me salutes the love in you. And so when I'm in this little meditation and I'm seeing the two photographs on the altar, and I'm remembering how we're all doing our best in this world, and I'm seeing us both with compassion and love, I say that prayer. The light in me honors the light in you. That's the light in me is my spiritual self. The light in you is your spiritual self. And I honor that we are both spiritual beings first and foremost. The love in me salutes the love in you. Again, we're first and foremost, we're spiritual beings. And it's only our humanness that gets in the way. And I find that when I prepare myself like that before I have a difficult conversation, just means I'm going into the conversation with such an open heart, and there's just very little ego. Very little ego can survive that energy. So yeah, it's pretty powerful. I really, really recommend it. If you're going to have a clearing conversation with anybody, if you're going to speak your truth, I think that process that I just lined out there is really powerful, and in my experience works really, really well. Yeah, and then the third exercise I give in the book is around prayer. And really it's that piece where if you don't actually feel safe to have a conversation with somebody, it's just not possible. Maybe it's geographically not possible. Maybe they are totally unavailable to talk to you and they refuse to have the conversation that you want to have. Then it's actually a very empowering experience to pray about it. I don't mean to pray from a religious perspective, but just to really connect with the truth that we are all connected energetically, that we are all one and the same and part of source energy. There is no disconnect between anything in this universe. It is all one. So when we send out a prayer, it has a ripple effect. It has an effect. And you might not see the effect straight away, but to be able to sit in prayer and even do as I just explained then, is see the two of you in the photo frames on the mantle with the candles and the flowers and beautify it in a way that feels really yummy for you. And just send out the prayer. Like, I would love to have a conversation with you. I don't know how. I would love to communicate my truth with you. I don't know how. I don't know how that's possible, but I'm willing to be shown. You know, I would love for you to feel my forgiveness. I would love for you to hear the truth of my heart. I don't know how to get that across to you. So, you know, I pray that you receive it. I pray that I'm shown a way. I pray that there's a healing, and we don't know what that's going to look like or how that's going to happen. And it might not even come from us having a conversation, but I'm praying that there's an outcome to both our highest will and good here. I physically can't communicate with you, but I'm willing to be shown. I'm willing for there to be healing in another way. You know, let it be. And so it is. But a prayer like that is really rather lovely. And then just let it go. Let it go. You know, we can't control everything. We can't make somebody talk to us if they don't want to talk to us, right? Tanya has said, hi, Katie. Thank you for sharing today. I agree with what you're saying. Thanks, Tanya. I'm glad. I'm glad I'm making a little bit of sense. I know I'm a bit discombobulated today. So if anybody's got any questions before I wrap up, and you can type really fast, then please go ahead and type in, and I would love to answer your questions. I'm just going to scroll down because sometimes I miss them when I'm chatting. No questions. That's okay. Alrighty. So yeah, so unless there's any questions, I think I will wrap up. If anything, you know, comes up for you during these trainings and you want to communicate something with me, then please do just comment underneath this video, because obviously a lot of people watch these not live, they watch the recording. So if anything I say comes up for you or any questions come up for you, then please just write under the video what your questions are and I will respond. Like I said, I'm going on a yoga retreat tomorrow for a few days, but so I might not respond straight away. But I will respond. And if you want to have a conversation with me, if you'd like to have a private conversation with me, if you want to explore working with me, whether that be at a private level or in a group program, as you know, I would love to talk to anybody that's interested in joining my Live Louder group program. But whatever, like if you just want to explore what coaching could be like for you, what is it to be coached? How, you know, if you're even remotely intrigued, then just drop me a line. Put a note down here and I'll send you a link so that you can apply for a call with me and we can check it out. Okay. So there's only so much that I can support you with when I'm talking to a screen essentially. And I love to coach. I love to have a two-way conversation. So if you would like to speak with me privately, just let me know and we'll set it up. Okay. Otherwise, go out and do your random acts of kindness this afternoon or whatever time zone you're in. I will. And please remember that the people around me, and usually the most challenging people, are your opportunity for growth. They are mirroring something within you that needs healing. And so they are actually a gift of love to you, those people. Hard to believe, right? But the people that are really pissing you off right now are probably an incredible gift of love, showing you where you need to transform and evolve something. And yeah, and please be honest. Keep being honest with yourself. Be honest with other people. You know, enough already with pretending. Just be honest. It is the best policy. And with that, I love you. I will leave you. I'll see you next week. And do get in touch if you want any personal support from me. Okay. I love you lots. Bye.